Welcome to the Kentucky Public Pensions Authority Invoice Training Series, presented by the Employer Reporting, Compliance, and Education Division. This video will provide information on the monthly reporting invoice. Every month, a template is generated for the file web and school board employers to submit their retirement records and contributions to Kentucky Public Pensions Authority. The monthly report is made up of three components: the member details, the summary, and the payment. And every month, the employer must submit all three components for the report to be complete. Following the submission of the monthly report, the Kentucky Public Pensions Authority reviews each component during a balancing process to determine if there's any monetary discrepancy between the details, summary, or payment. If the monthly report balances, then the START system loads each member detail record to their specific retirement account, unless the record is reported with errors. If an error is identified, a representative of the Employer Reporting, Compliance, and Education Division will review and address the issue so the record can post to the member's retirement account. The monthly reporting process resolves the monetary discrepancies found during the balancing and error correction processes from the previously submitted monthly report, as well as any monetary adjustments done on a record posted to a member's account. The newly created invoice will reflect the balancing adjustment and error correction made to the prior monthly report submitted by the agency, and any adjustments made between the 26th day of the prior month to the 25th day of the current month. The monthly reporting invoice can be accessed through the Invoice module under the Report tab in Employer Self-Service. To review the invoice, click the invoice number hyperlink. The invoice will be a multi-page document containing balancing information, the error correction information, and adjustment information. The monthly reporting invoice starts with the general information for the invoice, including the employer name and code, the invoice number, the primary KPPA contact, and the report month. The report month date is a month behind the creation date of the invoice, unless there is an instance of an overdue monthly report being submitted out of sequence. Following the general information is a summary of the balancing discrepancy, which contains the variance between the detail information, the summary information, and the payment of the contributions. The contribution total includes the employee contributions, health insurance contributions, and employer contributions. This variance is totaled at the bottom of the page and followed by the adjustments after balancing total. This total is the variance of the contribution amounts on the error correction records and the adjustments of posted records. The balancing variance and the error correction adjustment variance is combined to find the total due on the invoice. Please remember, the variance total is on contributions only. We do not calculate the salary amounts into this. Following the summary of the balancing variance, page 2 starts the breakdown of the variance beginning with the retirement plan. In this example, it shows the variance occurred in the CERS non-hazardous plan. Page 3 expands on the information from page 2 and filters variance through the contribution details on the retirement plan. In this example, it shows the employee contribution part is $184.88. The health insurance contribution part is $36.98, and the employer contribution part is $794.22. Page 4 further expands the breakdown of the variance through the different contribution groups within the retirement plan. In this example, it shows the variance occurred in the CERS non-hazardous cash balance contribution group, and there was no variance in the records reported under the CERS non-hazardous with health insurance contribution group. Page 5 continues the example and shows there was no variance in the records reported under the CERS non-hazardous without health insurance contribution group, and this concludes the information on the balancing variance breakdown. Page 6 begins the adjustments after balancing details. These pages contain the records that were corrected during the error correction process after the monthly report was submitted, and the records that were updated through internal adjustment processes after posting to the member's account. This information is important to review as each record reflects a monetary change on a specific employee of your agency. And as the employer, you may need to collect additional contributions to make the record correct, or refund contributions that were overpaid. The information provided in this section shows you the member who the correction or change was made on and provides the record as it was originally reported by the agency and then as it is after being corrected by KPPA. Each record has a variance sum total below the reported and corrected lines, and a total variance is shown at the end of the section in the invoice. In this example, the total variance of the error correction and adjustment process is shown on page 7 of the invoice. But depending on how many records went through these processes, this information could be spread over multiple pages. The final pages on this invoice contain adjustments done during the balancing process. In this example, there were no adjustments done during balancing. Your ERCE representative who balances the report for your agency may reach out to you during the monthly reporting process to discuss making an adjustment. And if an adjustment needs to be completed to make the 3 components of the monthly report balance, then that record will be displayed here. Once the invoice is issued, the agency has 30 days from the date of creation to pay the invoice. The due date for this invoice is shown on the invoice screen in Employer Self-Service. It is not located on the invoice itself. Thank you for viewing the monthly reporting invoice training. If an agency has questions regarding any of their invoices, they may contact their ERCE team through the employer hotline and ask to speak to the invoice specialist.